two of the buildings that I find particularly interesting and memorable include Ayampe's addition to the Louvre, which I had the opportunity to see when I was a student working in England, and it had just started construction. I had the opportunity to go back there last year, hadn't been in a very long time, and I still found that exciting. And the reason I found it exciting is because Ayampe came up with a different, unique approach to solving the problem of gallery. And that's very old and evolved over time in the form of very traditional buildings. And what he did was he placed a pyramid right in the middle of the courtyard space, which provided a lot of natural light to the spaces down below. It's very modern, it's very timeless, and those are some of the things that we think about a lot in architecture. What is it going to look like in 20 years? What is it going to look like in 50 years or 200 years? And it was a wonderful solution to a very, very complicated problem. Another example includes a house by Frank Lloyd Wright, and it's called Falling Water. And Frank Lloyd Wright was a very creative person, a very creative architect. And I had the opportunity to visit Falling Water on 3 occasions. And the first time that I saw it, I could experience it from a very quiet, personal perspective because it was not tourist season. And you could really experience how the house blended with nature. And that was a big part of his design, was this organic architecture that works with nature. And the house, which was built out of stone and other natural materials, really worked very well with the site. It's a very small scale by today's standards, but it's still very beautifully executed. It had very large cantilevers, which are overhangs, for example. So if this is our column and this piece is overhanging or extending out past that column, it's called a cantilever. And so there are balconies which really focused on this cantilever so that it looked like it was reaching out into nature. And that worked really, really well, and it still works really well. You might hear people talk about bringing the outside inside. And that whole idea came from Frank Lloyd Wright. You might say it goes back further in history, but he did a really marvelous job of executing that concept as an idea. And that house really brings that idea to home.